Hey everybody, here with a quick video on Neo. Neo recently did an interview with Vlad TV, and they addressed one of the topics they addressed was, parents letting their minor children make the decision to change their gender identity, right? He pretty much said those parents are out of their mind. They have lost their way. They're crazy because kids change their mind all the time, and he said, as a parent, he would never, ever do that. He feels there are two genders, either you're a male or you're female, and he hit the gavel and said, that's it, and that's all. Listen, guys, we're going to get more into this story right after this. Now, guys, we're going to go ahead and get right into this Neo story. And before I start reading this story, I want to say this. As a parent of one, I learned so much, and this I do know. As parents, we do the best that we can in the moment that we're in, based upon the decision that we're making at the time that we're making it. And I'm telling you, that's for real. There's no perfect parent in this world, and I think we all can say how we would address the situation hypothetically, but until you are in it, and is your child in your face, and is your child that is in pain, that is crying, that is begging you for their help, you can't really say, in my opinion, what you would or would not do. I just don't know. I'm going to be very honest with you. And this is one of these topics that it's a hot topic. It's been coming up more and more lately. And I'm not going to judge a parent in this case. You know me, I have strong opinions about everything. In this particular situation, I'm standing in the middle. I don't know what I would do, and I don't know the answer. Let's read what Neo had to say, okay? So Neo condemns parents who let their kids transition genders, right? Neo says parents shouldn't be letting their kids transition genders, suggesting minors don't know any better, but adults should. Now, you know what? Here's the thing. There is this thing is saying, and I'm not saying he has the right message, so connect with me for a minute. But there is this thing where people say, right message, wrong messenger. And if I have to say anything about parenting and someone that may speak to us about parenting, I think Neo is definitely the wrong messenger. Okay. Several kids out there, one wife, had a couple kids with the wife, had a couple kids before the wife, had a couple kids after the wife. Okay. So you saying that parents should adults should know better. Well, Neil, you should know better too. Why on purpose have all of these kids? And really, when I say leave them out there fatherless, yeah, they have a dad, but they're not going to have, all those kids are not going to have their dad in their home, because you have three separate baby mothers. And I want to say that the last baby mother that Neo has, the second child that particular young lady had, he questioned her about it being his child or not. So you out here doing messy parenting, Neo, and you want to tell everybody else how they should parent. But we'll continue on. I just wanted to throw that out there, okay? Little food for thought. The singer spoke his mind in a recent Vlad TV interview where he was talking to Gloria Velez. They touched on a number of topics, but eventually landed on transgenderism, especially as it relates to children. He says he feels like a lot of people have lost sense of that of the definition of parenting. He got the nerve. We lost the sense of the definition of parenting because in his mind it boils down to being wiser than your kid. Interesting, right? And knowing when to put your foot down and say no. Wow, from Neo. In this case, he believes affirming a child's gender identity is wrong. Neo's rationale comes down to this: transitioning genders is a life altering decision, and he argues children, especially young ones, truly don't know what the hell they want are on this particular topic, what they even mean when they say they want to be a boy or a girl. Now, one thing I will say rings true, right? What rings true is that even as adults, sometimes we can flip back and forth in our decisions and our thought process in our mind. And so, if anything, in this particular case, I would definitely say for sure no sex change if anybody is looking into doing that until at the very least you turn 18. Now that I would say like hold off on. But other than that, I cannot really weigh heavy in on this conversation because this is something to me that is so personal, and only the parents that go through it to me will really know how to handle it because they're going to base it, I would think, on everything that their child is telling them. I don't think any parent just wakes up and be like, all right, whatever. I really don't think that. But that's my thought. He has hit his he hit his point home by saying this: I just personally come from an era where a man was a man and a woman was a woman, and there was two genders, and that's just how I rock. You can identify as a goldfish if you like. That ain't my business. It becomes my business when you try to make me play the game. I'm not going to call you a goldfish. One last thing, Neil references California legislation, which he somewhat mistakenly says will make it so parents lose their kids if they don't affirm their child's identity, gender identity. Is not quite what he's describing, but there is, in fact, a bill working its way through the California legislature right now that will require a judge in custody disputes to consider whether a parent is affirming their kid's identity and determining who they stay with. So I get it in that sense, right? They're saying that in California, they're trying to pass a bill where if the custody is involved with a child, and and it kind of brings me back to the case with Gabrielle Union and their daughter. Their daughter. I want to say Zaya. Did she change her name to? And the biological mother, was not in agreement with everything that they were doing. Dwayne Wade, she was not, the biological mother was not in agreement with the way they were handling or raising or allowing the daughter to live her life. And so what this law is going to do is going to allow the judge to say the child can go with the parent who pretty much agrees with their lifestyle and their thought process and who they want to be. That's the best way I can explain that. So there are two other bills in the pipeline touching on this issue as well. Assuming they pass the Assembly State Senate, they'll almost surely be signed into law. So guys, this is a topic where it's not like it's a right or wrong answer. It's whatever the person believes and feels, and that's how you kind of say, okay, this side or that side, whatever side that you're on. And I'll say this for the most part with Neo's conversation. One, I say that we all can say, get a hard stance on something that we would do, but it's not until you actually face that situation in your own life, in my opinion, where you really know what you're going to do. Okay. There are a lot of things as I was raising my son where I was like, oh, I would never do this. I would never do that. Blah, 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 blah. That kid came to me and I did it. Okay. Sometimes we really break down. We got a soft spot for our children. And, we see them and they talk to us enough and they explain some things to us, we'll be like, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you do this. And I'll take it to something very simple and basic. My son's first concert, I would say this, my son's first concert he wanted to go to by himself. I was just petrified. I was petrified because it was a concert where it was you stand. It wasn't like, assigned seats. And I was just like, I don't want you to get crushed. I don't want nothing to happen to you. I was just like, oh my God. And then I had to just pray and say to myself, you know what? I gotta just release it and believe that he's gonna be okay. And I just gotta pray and just let it go. But I was like, I fought it for so long, and then I was like, okay, I gotta let this child live. Like, this is his life. He gotta live his life. So I'm gonna let him live. I'm gonna go to let him go to the concert. And when he shows me like the pictures and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, I just want to die. He's like, Mom, we was all jumping, we was all pushing each other, and I'm just like, because you hear some of these concerts where they're like that and the kids just get crushed, like people just get crushed and like toppled over. Sometimes when too many people just lose their mind and go crazy. But to circle back to this particular moment, if my child came to me and said, I have a son, Mom, I identify as female, I really want to be a female, and so forth and so on, I can't put a hard stance out and be like, oh my God, no, right? Because when it's your kids and you feel like they're in pain and they're really feeling a certain way, you work your way and navigate that situation a little bit differently than you would say you might do it if you're not in that situation. That's just my thoughts. I hope I wasn't all over the place. Anyway, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. Let me know, what do you feel about Neil in his conversation on this particular topic. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. Thank you everybody for watching. Hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.